actually a bright energy, but it's not something I would see from this galaxy. It's almost like more pure. It's more pure in form. So that dark ball that you said was your soul, I think that's just a shadow aspect of your soul. I don't think that's your entire soul.
Well, since I took the dragon back, it's turned opalescent.
Yeah, actually the color I saw when I connected with your auric field.
Okay.
Because I saw kind of a opalescence, kind of looks like an opal with little shimmers of color, but I did not see black. So I think you transmuted that black energy or the shadow self. So yeah, your energy is very clear. It does not look like anything that comes from this universe or this galaxy. You actually, most of the dragons and even the reptilians, they were beings that originated from a different universe. They ended up on Draco. It was almost as if they were exiled. That's what I get. That somehow they were exiled out of their original universe to this universe. And I'm not sure the reason why. Searching in the records for a while now to get the answer to that, and I haven't yet been able to get an answer. So maybe it's not for me to know at this time. Okay, so I don't know why they were exiled. I just know they were. And the dragons were actually higher echelon. To me, they almost seem like their own race, separate from the rest of the reptilians. Because there's this kind of a nobility and a sense of ethics with dragons that you don't see with other reptilian castes. Okay. Now they do things in their own way. Okay. I mean, they don't follow, I guess, the rules that humans or humanoid races have set as being right. They have their own way of, they have their own codes, their own sense of justice. So I'm trying to dial back to where your soul first began. And so I'm having to go really far away. So it's like, I actually see a lot of brightness where you came from. It doesn't look like this universe at all. It looks like everything's kind of reversed. It's almost like an alternate universe from this one, because here it's like there's a lot of darkness and then little pinprints of lights. Okay, there it's like everything's bright. Okay, the night sky is bright. It's not dark, and there's little pinprints of darkness. It's like a reverse image of what we would see in this universe. I'm seeing that there was worlds that were created. Your planets didn't look like ours. They were more elongated in shape. Not flat, but just kind of elongated. Maybe more elliptical than round. Okay. I'm seeing cities that were built, or I don't even know if I can call them cities, or like habitation structures that were built on these planets where your race of beings resided on, made of stone and crystal. The planets were mostly barren. I don't see much plant life for some reason.
I didn't see any when I went back there.
They're just crystals and rock is what I see. I'm seeing you as a baby dragon. And you were just hatched out of the egg, okay? The egg looked like it was also kind of opalescent and colored, okay? You, on the other hand, you came out kind of a carnelian color, like you had mentioned. That's your actual dragon. Each of these dragon colors signify what their soul mission is. So dragons have different colors that signify their specialty. I'm not sure what the carnelian represent. The other client that was similar to you, she was gold with bluish tones, okay, which indicated that she was a teacher. Yours is different, okay. I'm seeing mostly carnelian with, I'm seeing kind of blue-green shimmers here and there, but it was mostly carnelian, okay. Okay, they're saying keeper of crystals.
Oh, well, there you go. I was someone sent to put crystals on the planet, evidently.
Yeah. So I guess the dragons of your color were keepers of crystals. Okay. Yes. Your parents did not have the same color as you. They had their own color. Okay. Your dragon parents. Dragons are kind of hands off as far as child raising. Okay. They're not extremely nurturing like you would expect here. You know, with mammalians. Okay. They'll check in on the baby to make sure the baby's okay, but they don't really do a whole lot of nurturing. They kind of let the baby figure things out on its own. Okay.
Which was repeated in this lifetime.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I keep hearing that a lot from dragons. Yeah, they always say that. Yeah, my childhood on Earth was not great. I was neglected, or they just felt like they didn't have that nurturing that they were hoping.
Not mentored in any way.
Yeah, so that I think was the case even in your original homeworld, that you kind of had to figure things out on your own, and that was just the way they raised. They raised their babies to be extremely independent. So you, as a soul, you feel more comfortable being independent. Right now, in the situation, the home situation that you're in, it's frustrating as hell for you. It's just frustrating beyond frustrating, because you're now having to depend on other people. It's part of, I think, a soul lesson you've chosen for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So even though it's uncomfortable, it's where you're supposed to be at this time. Okay.
My relationship with Bill was 24/7 for 30 years. There was an feeling of independence. Okay, it was something we both supported in each other, being independent in our own person. Yeah, that's what I learned from that relationship, partly.
And it's kind of similar to what my partner and I have. My husband and I, we kind of let each other be our own people, but we're there to support each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I think that's why our relationship has lasted, 18 years. So.
It was such an education for me, the whole thing. So precious. That's why I say I miss him fiercely. I just fiercely miss him.
Yeah, I understand.
The level of it is just awesome.
Yeah, I would feel the same way if I was in your shoes. I totally understand that.
So this feeling of independence and stuff, I have a very hard time in a big group fit in. I never feel I fit in. Spiritual groups especially. I'm not a part of them. I'm quite fit. And I'll take a class from somebody and it's like, well, that's all well and good, but I don't quite see it that way, kind of thing. And I'm like, am I just being ornery, or what is going on with me with not being able to feel like a part of a group?
Dragons are independent. They don't hang out in groups. They kind of just do their own thing. They might connect with one another occasionally if they have to.
Yeah.
But it's on very occasionally. Okay. So for you, being part of a group is outside your comfort zone. Okay. It's not. And you're, I would say, wiser than most. You've had a wealth of life experiences in this life and also in previous lives, either off planet and on planet. Okay. So for you to be a part of a group feels very foreign to you. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, for instance, because I'm Arcturian, everything we do is part of a group consciousness. So I feel uncomfortable when I'm not part of a group. So that's that's the difference between me and you. But I can also be independent. It's just that I would prefer not to be. But which is why I have a partner. So I think in some ways I am very independent. I've learned to be that way in order to survive here. But it's not the Arcturian way. Okay. So in your case, it is the dragon way to be extremely independent. And so for you to be part of a group just feels like, why? It's like...
Yes. It doesn't feel like there's any advantage in it. And it's at a time on the planet where everybody's talking about, interconnected, and you got to connect with somebody, other people. And I'm like, yeah, I do, in my own way. Like self-contained myself about that.
The all interconnectedness is for the beings that are living in this universe. You came from a different universe, okay?
Why and at what point did I take on human?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm kind of wondering about that too.
What did it serve?
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too. What I'm seeing with you is you came here predominantly to integrate, I think, I'm even wondering what you're doing in this universe, okay? Because, I mean, honestly, because I'm kind of looking back and I'm thinking, okay, she came from this alternate universe where everything's bright and then you have little pinprints of darkness. Why would you come into this universe? I almost think it was kind of like a mistake.
Oh, great.
But it was a mistake that I think I'm having to go into the old, volumes to see what happened. Yeah, it was not by choice. That's why I see that.
It was not by choice that I came to this universe.
No, not at all.
It was a punishment?
I don't think so. I think it was a mistake.
I was going someplace and I didn't have my coordinates right?
No, it wasn't even like that. I think what happened was your dragon group got lumped in with, I think it was the other reptilians that were causing trouble, okay, in your universe. There's also other beings in your universe, not humanoid though. It was like the lower caste reptilians in that universe were causing problems for these other beings. The other being, and this was like long standing, like for millions of years, okay? For some reason, these beings, I guess, and they were not humanoid, okay? They didn't look human. They almost looked bird-like, or the only thing I can describe them is like almost blue avian-like, but not exactly. They were having, I think, constant conflicts with the reptilian caste, okay, like the warrior caste was what I call them, okay. Somehow, I think because the reptilian caste lived in a similar area of the universe, they lived on planets that were close to yours, okay. So somehow there was this energy field that this bird group sent that sent not just the dragon being, or not just the reptilian beings to a different universe, but somehow the dragon beings also got sucked in, okay? Even though they were pretty neutral, okay? The dragons didn't take sides, and I think that's a dragon trait for the most part. They don't get involved with conflicts that much, but they don't help either side. So I think because you weren't siding with the bird people, they thought that you were siding with the reptilians.
Okay.
So they were sending you guys to a completely different universe, and somehow they had the technology to do this. Okay. Then your group ended up in a constellation called Draco. Okay, and that's where they sent you to in our universe. Okay, in this galaxy, because of the damage that occurred from the age of the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs got wiped out. There was damage on Earth. Because you were the crystal keeper, you were sent there to balance out the energies on the planet. You did it initially with the hope that you can bring the dinosaurs back, but that wasn't to happen. Okay, that didn't happen. I think you ended up, you had incarnations on Earth as various different beings. And this is like I said, your story is very unusual compared to most. Okay, so I'm seeing sometimes you would incarnate as a bird, sometimes you would incarnate as a feline. It was like almost like in order for you to stay on the planet, you had to infuse your DNA with the DNA of beings from that planet.
Well, that's kind of what I was told. In order to stay, they had to make me into a hybrid.
Exactly. Yeah. So you took on feline DNA and bird DNA. The bird DNA was similar to yours, so that was easy, but it wasn't enough. Okay, so you needed to take a mammalian DNA, and you chose the cat because it was the most unlike your DNA. And it was very difficult for you to integrate into cat DNA. Yeah, it was very, very difficult. Because cat DNA is like the opposite of reptilian DNA. Okay.
Okay.
when you were going through this process of integrating your DNA with these other DNAs, bird was easy because birds also are descendants of reptilians, okay?
Right, right.
Cat, on the other hand, you suffered physically for that one. And your physicality hasn't been the same ever since. But you felt like it was necessary for you to complete your mission on the planet. I see a lot of incarnations as non-human, at least in the beginning of Earth's inception. I think you transitioned to human because I think you felt like you couldn't do what you could do or wanted to do as an animal because animals were being hunted down.
Okay.
So it was almost safer for you to continue your incarnations on Earth as human.
I was told that I had many crappy lives of captivity.
You had a lot of bad lives. Yeah, I see that too.
As a dragon or as a person? As a human or as both?
As both.
Okay.
I think that was another reason why initially you were incarnating on Earth as a dragon. It was okay because at that time, dragons were more accepted. During the early part of, human history, okay? You see a lot of depictions of dragons in, human history. You see dragons in England, you see dragons in China, you see dragons in Mexico, so dragons were well known and they were loved and respected back in those days.
Right.
But then came the influence of Christianity and Catholicism that demonized dragons. So at that point, you didn't want to be hunted down and killed, okay? So, because they all of a sudden, dragons were lumped in as being demonic, okay, which was really an unfair, it was an unfair representation of them, okay, because actually they were great teachers. I mean, that's and healers, okay. I see you being here to heal the energy of the Earth. Earth originally was fifth dimensional, and then it got descended into third dimension, okay? I think your mission is to try to work on the grid systems of the Earth through crystals in order to strengthen the grid systems so that Earth can ascend easier into fifth dimension.
So do I do this like at night or something? Because I don't physically do it. There's people who go out and go to all of the portals and everything, and I've never done that.
You probably do it during astral time, yes.
Yeah, okay. I've made colored things, okay? And perhaps I do it with sound.
Yeah, you use sound frequency. You use light frequency and sound frequency.
Okay, so I have a language, and I don't know what I'm saying, but I speak it from time to time.
Yeah, that would be your dragon language.
Ah, Takashi Bero.
Yep. Yeah, you're bringing in the dragon energy that way. What I'm seeing for you is I think this will definitely be your last incarnation as human on Earth.
That's what it feels like to me, and I keep telling Bill, come and get me. Just come and get me. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here.
No, it's hard. It's hard for an Arcturian, and I'm a local gal, okay, relatively speaking. I mean, I come from 37 light years away. I mean, it's not, but it's difficult for me to be here. I can only imagine how difficult it is for you.
Do you think that Bill was also dragon? He was more cat.
I'm not getting dragon energy with him.
Cat, and as he was getting passing and having kind of where he would go into, he would leave his body, kind of thing.
I'm getting Earth Soul with Bill, but more elemental energy with him. Okay.
Okay, yeah. He told me next time he was coming back as a cat.
I would love to be a cat too. Honestly, cats are awesome. And they have excellent DNA usually, so unless they're been degraded through breeding. But yeah, I'm seeing elemental energy with Bill, and I think you met him for the first time when you first arrived on Earth.
Oh, okay.
And he was very, very helpful to you because he understood why you were there. But he wasn't in human form either. He was in elemental form. So being human was foreign for him as well. Okay. It's almost like, even though I don't really subscribe to everybody's got to have a twin flame or has to be from the same place. I mean, I think he was a soul mate, but somebody that you've had a contract with for quite a few lifetimes. Okay, so
just because of how present he is right now, and I listened to a meditation on the solstice, talked about going back to the central sun, and he came and took my hand and took me out into the universe and took me to the central sun. And he and I go out into the universe a lot. We used to, when I had my dragon, we used to get on the back of the dragon and ride out there, and that's one of my connections with him after he transitioned, was on the dragon and going out into the universe with him. When he was alive and I looked into his eyes, I always went out into the stars. It took me away. So, powerful energy, and I'm not going to let him go. I work with him every day.
I think as a dragon, you were alone for many, 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 many lifetimes.
Right, and when I went back on this with the shaman, one of the things that happened is a lot of that loneliness disappeared. So even though I am alone, I am less in that energy than I've ever been.
Yeah, but I think, when you came to Earth, it was the first time you've ever felt love and acceptance for just being who you are. So that was the gift that Earth gave back to you.
Okay.
So you came to help the planet, and in return, the planet gave you an elemental energy that became, your best friend and lover. Okay, so that was, the exchange that you had with this planet. So now you have this beautiful, I would say man, but beautiful being that's going to be your partner forever. Okay,
yeah.
So he's not far away from you.
No.
I feel his presence as well. Like I said, I don't get dragon with him at all. I get an beautiful earth soul.
But he accepted my dragon energy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because he's not human. Okay, he's actually an elemental. He's an earth elemental. So he understands, I think, on the bigger picture beyond what humans understand.
Passionate, extremely compassionate.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Richard, I am going to send you, after we get done, a picture of the place out in the yard here where I put his cremains. And it's a sunny morning, and the sun is coming through the trees and blasting with a halo of like a rainbow halo. And I put a crystal Buddha out there, and I put a crystal in his hand in front of the statuary. The sunlight's coming up from behind, and it caught a corner of that crystal, and you could see the whole outline of the crystal. The light came through the crystal. That side of the statue is in the dark.
I almost get, okay, this is going to sound bizarre, but I think your husband's actually a crystal elemental.
Oh.
So that's why you understood him and he understood you. Because remember, you were the crystal keeper, okay? Yeah. So
when we first started being with each other, living with each other, I heard him on the phone one day, and he said, "I didn't know you could be this happy with somebody." And then I heard somebody must have asked him another question on our own shit, and we both put together. If there was something out of sync, we would own that as, oh, I'm doing this. This is something I'm doing. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. So we really grew together.
Yeah, and that's the way relationships are supposed to be like.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when did you meet him? How old were you and how old was he?
I met him when he was, let's see, he's 7 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like about 41. He passed away when he was 71.
Okay.
And I was going close to 50. And he was a small man. He was shorter than me.
Mm-hmm.
But never felt like he was shorter than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him one day, I said, I think the reason you have the stature you have is that if you were in a bigger body, everybody would run in terror of you. He had such a powerful energy.
Yeah.
In this small body, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who didn't love him.
Yeah, I'm seeing a very wise earth soul with him. Okay. I think because he was already so evolved when you met him, it was easy, to connect with him. Because he's an earth soul, he doesn't have your dragon strength. I think the toxicity of this planet got to him after a while, which is why he suffered from cancer, as long as he did.
He had Crohn's disease. He had Crohn's disease for years, and we thought his Crohn's disease was acting up.
Mm.
So they went in to operate and resection him,
Mm-hmm.
and found, because he had CAT scans and stuff, they never found the cancer. It was tucked under behind his celiac, where the two things connect. They didn't even know he had cancer. And so when he came out of the operation, it was just like a shock to us. And he had a bag and a stoma, and that was really, really hard for him because he was such a fastidious person. But he never made a complaint. He never said he was in pain. He never complained. He just kept being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he stuck around a long time, longer than he needed to, because he didn't want me to grieve.
No, he hung on as long as he could for you, because he didn't want you to be alone.
And it's interesting because the minute he was gone, and I went to bed that night, little girl running through it was a forest that had been burnt down. It was really awful and dark. Was running and kind of always looking behind her to see if somebody was chasing her. So that was that little girl energy inside of me.
So even though you got wrongly transported out of your universe into this universe, it wasn't a total lost cause for you, okay? Because you did manage to find love in the long run, so.
Deep, abiding love.
So this was a gift, from our universe to yours, okay? Because where you came from, love was different, okay? There wasn't a lack of love. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but it was just expressed differently. I'm seeing initially, you started off as dragon, and we talked about how you had a transition. I think you transitioned into animal, but then animals were also being hunted down. Okay, so that wasn't safe anymore. So you transitioned into human. You did have incarnations in Atlantis. Okay, I think that was pretty prevalent. For most of us, either were on Atlantis or Lemuria. I'm seeing Atlantis for you. Your partner was there too. You two reconnect. That was, I think, the first time both of you incarnated into human form. And so because you were both in human form, you almost didn't recognize each other. So you kind of knew him. You didn't recognize who he was because he didn't look like the being that you were used to, okay? It took a while for you to recognize his energy and for him to recognize yours.
Right, that makes sense.
So you and your partner finally recognized who you were, and you were so elated. You were thinking, oh my gosh, now that I'm human, am I going to be alone forever? Because I don't look like myself. So you both fell to your knees and, embraced each other, when you finally discovered, oh my gosh, you're that beautiful dragon being that I've loved, and he was the beautiful crystal elemental that you loved, so. Atlantis was hard. It had a lot of beautiful aspects to its culture, but also a lot of dark aspects. I think both I kind of see you and your partners being more neutral. It's almost like you wanted to help the planet, but you could care less about the politics, okay,
I'm apolitical.
I mean, you didn't want to get involved with the human drama. And so I think a lot of times in your various lifetimes, you found it very annoying, just the constant conflicts, with between this group and this and that, and this group doesn't like that group, and and you didn't quite understand it because where you came from, there was some conflicts, but not to the level that we have here. So even though that bird group sent your people, kind of accidentally sent your people to a different universe, because they were in war with the Reptilians. And then that's why the dragons and the Reptilians ended up in Draco. Even though they were from different planets, okay? They weren't even like the same species, okay? It was kind of like you just got lumped into their group, because you were also reptilian and you were also, kind of neutral, I guess. And so the bird people assumed that you were on the reptilian side, okay? So even though you were a dragon. in Atlantis, you grew, I think, very weary of the intrigue and the politics, and that you didn't understand why the Atlanteans had such a hatred for the Lemurians. It didn't make sense to you because because what you knew of the Lemurians, they seemed like pretty nice people, So I'm not sure what you were doing as far as what I think you know this too. Your time here is limited. Okay, so you might be here maybe for another 10 years. Yeah.
That's what I worked at the pendulum, and that's what I got. 10 more years.
Yeah, I'm getting 10 years.
To me, right now, it seems like a long time.
10 years will go by so fast, you won't even know.
The thing that concerns me is my physical body keeps deteriorating, and I try different things. I got CBD, and in the last, it's like that thing with my brain and my, and my muscles and things, and now my hands are falling asleep, like I have carpal tunnel. It's like every time I turn around, yesterday my hip started hurting, and it's like, wait a minute, I should be able to move this energy, I should be able to do this.
Yeah, a lot of us are experiencing that. It's not just you.
But it helps make me feel very vulnerable, okay, because there's things I can hardly do anything for myself anymore, because I'm afraid I'm going to fall, because my balance, just everything is off.
I understand what you're going through. Believe me, I totally understand it. Our carbon-based bodies are deteriorating because we're shifting into higher dimensions. I think another issue is the level of toxicity that's currently on this planet.
Yes.
It's beyond anything that humans have ever been exposed to before. Okay, so that's also going to cause deterioration. That's why we need to get this planet ascended sooner rather than later.
We're still walking around.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah, it is. The other issue, too, is your soul genetics is not a match for your physical body. And I suffer the same thing as an Arcturian, but your soul genetics and your physical body, I mean, there is no DNA marker that links the two. So that's why I was saying that even when you were integrating as a cat, or that you were trying to integrate cat DNA, it was very, very difficult for you. For human, it's even more so. You're going to suffer with physical issues more than the average person. It's just the way it is. And until we're able to shift this planet to where it needs to be, okay. Yeah. Then things will change, okay? But until then,
I'm doing this thing of working with the fifth dimensional energy and moving my energy that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all you can do, and that's all I'm trying to do too.
Even though I'm dragon, I'm in the ascension process.
Yeah, no, even though you're a dragon, you're on Earth and you're coming along with us, okay? So now whether you choose to stay on Earth after that, that's your choice, okay? It doesn't. But where would you go home to is the question, okay? And is Bill going to go with you? Okay, yeah, because Bill's home is Earth, okay? I'm almost wondering if he's going to start his ascension into living in alternate realms, okay? Kind of like what, you and me, we came from other realms and we're here, but maybe Bill will leave Earth and choose to go wherever you go.
Quite an adventure.
Yeah, I think so.
He loves to travel. So, yeah.
So you've been in his realm for the last quite hundreds of thousands of years, okay? Now he's going to, return the favor and go into your realm.
Come back as a cat next time.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to do that, unless you guys go to a planet that has cat beings, which, I mean, there's a possibility that you two might choose to go to Sirius. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Sirius has a blend of different types of beings, but it's a unity consciousness society. So they have cat people, they have reptilian people, they have humanoids, they have a blend, but they were able to achieve unity consciousness. So until you're able to figure out a way to get back to your universe, that you and Bill might end up in Sirius. I mean, it's a choice. But Sirius is not a bad place. It's actually quite nice. I've had some lifetimes there myself, so it's very, very nice. Definitely higher vibrational than Earth. Okay, so it will be a welcome change. Very watery though. Be prepared to do a lot of swimming.
Oh, he loves the water. He loves to snorkel.
Okay, then he will be very happy in Sirius. I think you'll be happy there too.
I'm not crazy about the water, but that's all right. Okay. As a dragon, I can go in the water.
And I think at that point, you two are going to return to a higher form of. I don't see you going back as being humanoid. You're going to be maybe a 6 density level dragon, and he'll be a 6 level density elemental being. I almost see him looking very crystalline. So so you're going to not stay in human form because neither one of you are really well suited to be in human form. Okay. I think that was another reason why Bill suffered from so many health issues. Okay.
I think it's interesting about my sexuality. I never orgasmed, and now I think I know why. It just all didn't connect. I love my sexuality, but I never orgasmed.
It's because of what we talked about. It's like the passion is there, but the passion is having a hard time being expressed through the physical form that you're in right now.
Exactly. My question is, I know you do some other kinds of things of like clearing. Do you think that I would benefit from doing some of that?
Yeah, clearing would help. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a kind of a weird mixture there.
It will help, I think, reset some intentions in your records to where hopefully things will be a little easier for you for the rest of your days on this planet. Because right now I think you're having a really hard time both physically and emotionally, which is understandable because you lost your partner and you lost your independence at the same time. So you would benefit greatly from a clearing. It's a very different reading than the one we just did, but it is a beautiful reading, and I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Thank you for being on the planet, and I will give you a blessing.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Yeah, that sounded great.
I don't know either, but it was a blessing.
Thank you so much, and I want to wish you a lot of love, happiness, and success for the remainder of your days here.
All right, and have a happy day, Anna. Bye-bye.